Well, the Sydney Kings had one job today, and that was win and you're in. For that reason, a dominant, to say the least, win over an undermanned South East Melbourne Phoenix has them earning their spot, clinching their spot in the NBL playoffs. And I'll tell you what, after what has been a roller coaster season, there is not a happier man in the house right now than the man who sits just off to my right here, Chris Pongrass, the CEO of the Sydney Kings. Chris, no team this year has come under as much scrutiny while still winning games than you guys have this season.
I think it comes with the territory. Playing in Sydney, you're in a big market, you're back-to-back champions. You know, we knew that coming in, and, you know, we don't shy away from it. I think it makes us, you know, holds us accountable to the level that we want to play at, and we want to be a contender each year. So if we're not that standard, we expect to get that criticism.
Chris, what did you think about the team's performance today? Hearing Jaden Adams talk before the game and that post-game, he said it came out with the right attitude. And even hearing DJ Hofe speak about it then, the team's kind of bonded a little bit. I feel like even though the result was an absolute blowout, I think something just happened.
You're spot on. I think we can take a lot away from that game. Confidence. You know, one of the biggest challenges we've had this year is confidence and knocking down shots. So when you see the ball go through the hoop, we start locking in defensively. They're having more fun and playing loose. You know, I think we've seen our ceiling is really high and our floor is really low. So if we lock in defensively and we hit shots, then I think we can beat anyone.
He talked to us a little bit about the pressure that it takes, because it is hard to win back-to-back. For a three-peat in any professional league, in any sport, it is really hard to do. But the pressure on everyone behind closed doors, when you're building a team, and we looked at this roster and we see the talents on display. A lot of people expected there to be a lot of struggles early, but you started the season really well. So just to deal with that, there's obviously a lot going on, but I imagine it's a lot harder because you've won two and everyone's expecting you to win a third.
No, it's much more difficult coming in. Winning anything, any. I mean, you're a player, you know exactly how it was. You too, mate. Like, winning any season is difficult. So then when you're going for a three-peat and you got the target on your back, you know, everyone's trying to scalp you every single game. But we lost our coach and our starting five. And I think it only highlights exactly how important Xavier Cooks was to this group. But yeah, I think we retooled very well with the options we had available, and I love our group. And we went through growing pains, and we still are. So again, once you make the play-in, now it's anyone's game, right? It's you got to win one, we got to win another one, and then you're in a series. So for us, it was about now we're making the play-ins. Like now, it's just looking forward. So getting some confidence here today, I think, is going to boost a little bit of morale.
Not to toot the horn of the front office at Sydney. You know, I've always been very complimentary of the Sydney front office, but you've hit on every single coach that you've recruited here. Will Weaver, Chase Buford, and now Mike Murray. You've made the playoffs with an entirely new season. What's the feeling been like indoors with so much criticism from the outside coming in about the coaching choice when you've now clinched your spot in the playoffs and you're a legitimate championship threat?
Yeah, again, I think the same criticism is only about the team as it is with our staff too. It's like we want to be better. And I take that accountability too. If people want to criticise the group, I play such a big role, as does Luke and Andrew, in terms of building our roster. You know, it's not just one person that's a result of the losses you see on the floor. So, look, you know, I still feel like there's a lot of confidence in our group internally, you know, within the organisation. I know our fans are starting to build that momentum, but you know, again, it's tough, and I think Mahmood and our coaches have stayed away from the criticism. He's not on social media. He doesn't see a lot of it from our fans. But again, what I do think is important is we're focused on here. So if we're going to be held accountable, then everyone, players and staff alike.
Now, CP, you've got an incredible eye for talent, and we've seen that. You brought in MVP in Jalen Adams. Jalen Galloway, the youngster, what his future could hold. Just talk to us a little bit about how special this kid is.
Super special. He's been in our gym for 4.5 years now and came in as a young 17-year-old. Yeah, I think what you're seeing him do this year is just the surface, right? He's still got a lot of growth, and 21 years old, super athletic and bouncy. And, you know, the one thing I think that people weren't sure about was his shot over time. And again, last game where he came down, and even though we lost to Illawarra, I think the reason why we stayed in that early was he was hitting shots. So there's a lot of scouts who I've talked to about him, and I think he's going to have a long basketball career, and I'm really pushing for him to be able to get an NBA nod. Like, I think he's, whether that's through a two-way initially and then building up into a roster spot, I truly think his ceiling's really high, and he's got that opportunity in front of him. So great young man as well. Like, that family and what they've done with those two boys, it's fantastic.
DJ Hogue's another guy that's, been in and out of this lineup. And as you can see tonight with 25 points from the great man, it's a very, very different offensive attack when he's in there.
It is. That's the challenging thing. He missed the first 7 games, came back for 6 games, was out again, came back. So seeing him go in and out of the lineup, I know it's been a challenge for him to get going, right? You talk about confidence and consistency. This is the perfect game for him to get that confidence back and see some shots go down. You're looking at these shots where he's just walking into contested threes and watching that ball go down, coming into a playing game. It's going to be huge for us. So, we envisioned him. He was one of our key signings this offseason. First import signed. Largely the first replacement when you, Zabe, was leaving, that we wanted to go get someone who was going to come in and be a significant offensive threat, and we're starting to see that. So him stringing some games together, while he's still going through some pain and stuff, and it's just seeing him get some continuity.
It wasn't that long ago that Jalen Galloway, who we just spoke about, was the up-and-comer. Now I'm looking at Malawach. It's like, he's got to wait because there's some guys in front of him, but talk to us about him and his growth.
I find it hard to look at a player in this league and even on our team that can sit for, 2/3 of the season and then in a critical game be called on and play 15 minutes and play as well as he had in those back-to-back games. Not just this one, but some of them, early on, critical wins against Melbourne, stuff that he came in and really showed out. So I'm super high on him. We've got an option on him next year, and I think this group's really excited about his growth and trajectory. And the problem we have, I think, with this group is I still think we're one of the deepest teams in the league. So someone's going to not be able to play games, right? Not minutes. And people always think that, playing 11, 12 guys when you're a coach, then your star player is going to play less. So having a deep bench is important, but it comes at the expense of some guys not getting as many minutes as you'd see.
Quickly before we let you go, we're big Swifties. If you can't get us tickets, no one can. Are we any chance?
No chance. I'll look up in Sydney, up in the Sydney show.
Sydney? Okay, now
yeah, deal.
Yeah.
We'll tell you what, you're going to be as happy as a Swiftie in this precinct right now because a big win. It doesn't matter who you're up against, you got to beat them. And you proved a little bit earlier in the season that it doesn't matter who it is, anyone's capable of winning a ball game, but you got the revenge here and you've locked in your place. So congratulations, CEO Chris Pongrass, and good luck in the finals.
Thank you, mate. Thank you for having me.
As we have a look at the total stats of this one, 67 to 122. It does not get much nastier than that now.